Good morning, everybody. I am Poshita Jayavikrama, the Joint Secretary of Society for Industry Relations and Entrepreneurship Development, University of Peradeniya. I sincerely welcome you all to Impulsum special guest talk on behalf of the SIRED committee. Before anything else, let me give you all an introduction about the society and its functionality. Society for Industrial Relations and Entrepreneurship Development, or what is commonly known as SIRED, was established in 2019 with the intention of opening up new opportunities for undergraduates along with the guidance of the Science Industry Interaction Cell. Our aim is to encourage entrepreneurship among students and also to increase the industrial exposure of undergraduates to match with the current industry requirements. Additionally, we aim at developing skills and attitudes of our fellow undergraduates to suit the modern business environment. As the SIRED, we were able to conduct a seminar about the Colombo Stock Exchange and also an industrial visit to Bandaranaike International Airport. Even after the hit from COVID, we managed to conduct several webinars. We conducted a special forum on hazardous effects of COVID. Then we had a special LinkedIn social media targeted webinar on personal branding, which was conducted by Mr. Anuruddha Gamage. Also, a program was conducted by Professor Janaka Ruwanpura on the journey from an undergraduate student to an internationally recognized leader. We also had a webinar on life after university, which was conducted by Dr. Nirmal De Silva. And finally, a special guest talk was presented by Professor R.D. Yapa, aiming at clearing the doubts of 18 batch students regarding their career opportunities as a science graduate. In addition to that, conceptum and article writing contest was also held. So before proceeding to the talk, I would like to invite our senior treasurer as well as the director of Science Industry Interaction Cell, Dr. Udayana Ranatunga, to speak a few words.
Thank you very much, Poshita. So good morning to everyone who's joining us here today and welcome. So firstly, let me thank Mr. Anuruddha Gamage for joining us here today as the resource person and all of you joining for this special talk. So before we start, I think I'd like to just go over some guidelines because this is a webinar and we're close to 100 people. I would please ask you all to leave your microphones off during the session. There will be a small question and answer session at the end of the talk. So I think Mr. Gamage will have about an hour session, and the last few minutes he will allow for your questions. If you have questions during the talk, you can also use the chat and we'll check that at the end. Also, please note that we will be recording this session. So if anyone is uncomfortable, please feel free to leave the webinar. And with that, let's move on to our talk. So, Poshita, back over to you.
Thank you, sir. With that, before we get started, I would like to repeat what Udayana sir mentioned before. Please make sure your cameras are switched off and mics are muted during the speech, unless the speaker asks you to switch them on. There will be a separate Q&A session where you can direct your doubts to the speaker. Moving on, today's session of Impulsum will be conducted by Mr. Anuruddha Gamage. He is currently acting as the head general manager in Human Resource and Corporate Sustainability Division of Kelani Valley Plantations, which is a member of Hayleys Group. He is also an individual with 20 plus years of experience in the HR sector. He also holds a PhD in human resource management. He is also an executive council member of Japan Sri Lanka Technical and Cultural Association, or JASTECA, one of the leading AOTs, Japan alumni in the world. Also, he is acting as the chairman of JASTECA Institute of Management, which is recognized as JASTECA's training and development arm. I am also proud to say here that he is also a past student of University of Peradeniya. So today he will be sharing his experiences as an HR manager as to how we should face in an interview, in finding internships, and other important aspects we have to consider when applying for a job. So without any further delay, now I would like to invite Mr. Anuruddha Gamage to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Poshita, and thank you very much, Dr. Udayana, inviting me for this guest talk. I'm really happy to take this invitation because being a student about 25 years back in the university on a different faculty, but my passion always to be share with my experience in my career life with the students. So I have taken over this opportunity and the invitation from the SIAD, that is Society of Industrial Relations and Entrepreneurship Development of Faculty of Science, University of Peradeniya. They have given me, before I go for my presentation, I would like to take about a few minutes to give you a brief on what they requested from me. So what they requested from me initially was on as a graduate. One day, I think all the participants, maybe I don't know, I don't have profiles of all the participants, but I'm assuming that all are maybe in last year, final year, or the third year, or whatever. Maybe within few months, within few years, you all will be facing challenges where you are going to face the real challenges in the world of work. So being a undergraduate and one good day in future to face the challenges in the world of work. So the society requested me to elaborate a few key points where the undergraduates will benefit on how to face interviews, basic qualifications for jobs, and on the internships and the industrial training opportunities. Before I go for these few key areas, I would like to take you all through a very interesting journey about few key facts that undergraduates should cultivate in their life, because without these things, because I always used to mention that how to become a smart graduate. We can be graduates, we have seen graduates, thousands of graduates I used to interview every year, but how to become a smart graduate, that's the most important term I used to mention. Because out of now, unlike our days, you all are going to face huge competition once you pass out from the university to find out the jobs. And if you want to develop your entrepreneurship skills, to develop your own businesses, there itself another challenges are there. The set of challenges are there. So how to be a smart graduate is the most important thing. To gain the competitive advantage with this huge competition, so the classic term is how to become the smart graduate. So my presentation initially will be based on the topic of that. So after that, I will elaborate some of the key characteristics where you should cultivate as an undergraduate, and also how to face this challenge after your graduation. As a graduate, how are you going to face these real world challenges? So maybe I will finish this little early, the presentation, where I thought to give a little bit more time for you to elaborate on certain queries from your end, certain clarifications. So you can answer questions as the modes that the organizers have given to you all. Okay, let me run through a little bit key points of the presentation. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to warmly welcome you all in Sri Lankan culture. We are all in Sri Lankan, whatever the religion or whatever we behind, we believe. We used to, globally, we used to identify the nation who greet with Aibowan. So I would like to welcome you all. I would like to greet you all Aibowan. Let me elaborate. I'm not going to be, Poshita has introduced me whatever the level that, because I don't want to repeat this again. As I mentioned that I'm the general manager and the head of human resources and corporate sustainability for Hayleys Plantations, and specifically kelani Plantation PLC, the leading regional plantation company in Sri Lanka, belongs to Sri Lanka's #1 conglomerate Hayleys Group. And I'm a product of Peradeniya agriculture faculty about 25 years back, and I hold MBA specialized in human resource management from University of Sri Jadanapura, and also I'm reading my PhD at the moment, PJHS University of Peradeniya. I'm the General Secretary and the Executive Committee member of Japan Sri Lanka Technical and Cultural Association's world's best Japan alumni in the world. And also I'm the Chairman of Justice Cultural Management. So I'm the winner in 2017. I'm the winner of 100 Most Influential Global HR Professionals Award awarded by World HRD Congress. And there are some of the awards in front of my name. So with that brief introduction of myself, let me come to my presentation today. Okay, importance of behavioral competencies and soft skills. Be a smart graduate. So that is my today suit with your objectives as well. So if you talk about a graduate, as I mentioned at the beginning, out of 1,000 of graduates, how to become a smart graduate. So to become a smart graduate, you should have with your all qualifications. You may have first class degrees, you may have other all qualifications, but only thing that you have to mix, you have to blend with proper behavioral competencies and soft skills, which match with the industrial requirement. So we always have to think time is most valuable resource we have at the moment, not for graduate or undergraduate or whatever. A human being, if you take a human being, the most important thing is the time. So every day we have 24 hours, but it's 1,440 minutes and turn it to seconds and see. Spending the time or time. So that is the critical debate at the moment in the industry, in the human resource world. Are we spending the time? Are we investing the time? So that is a separate topic where I am going to put a thought for you all to think. We have to always plan to invest our time, because time is more important and most critical resources around us. So be a smart graduate. You have to think about 3 key parameters: knowledge, skills, we call it kusalata, competencies, that is nipunata. Danuma, kusalata sah nipunata wala yaha sammishranayak avashya wenawa smart graduate kenek wenna. You need a proper blend of knowledge, skills, and competencies for you to be a smart graduate. Coming to knowledge, I'm not going to this. These are the, this you can talk about lectures and lectures, about 1,000 hours you can talk about knowledge. That is a vast area. Knowledge management is a different area under human resource management. What do you mean by knowledge? Right? Knowledge means mastery of facts, range of information in subject matter area, right? Where you are thorough with that, right? From day one, from in your university as a life, in university life, up to the last date of the university life, you are learning, capturing the knowledge, you're collecting knowledge, you're reviewing knowledge, you're storing knowledge. So what you gain from your teachers and what you are reading from your books, and by mistakes, by your own experience, you can gain the knowledge. So there are so many sources you can gain the knowledge. As I mentioned, you can get the knowledge from the textbooks, references, whatever the documented material, you can get the knowledge. Also, you can get the knowledge from the by experience, most probably by mistakes. Right? Make scientists in the world, unlike these days, they learn a lot from by mistakes. They did mistakes. With the mistakes, they got the learning to their life. Right. The other thing is you can gain the knowledge from various research and development activities. By practicing various activities, you can gain the knowledge. So with all these sources where I have mentioned or not mentioned, wherever the facts and information related to subject area, that you call knowledge. What do you mean by skills? We call in Sinhala kusalata, right? That is proficiency, expertise, or competence. For an example, crafting something, right? And in my industry, now you may have experience, you may have seen the tea harvester, how she's harvesting tea leaf. You may have seen a rubber tapper, how she's tapping a rubber tree, right? So that that particular person needs a particular set of skills. Everybody can't go and do that particular work. So yam anshayak පිළිබඳව ඇති ප්‍රවීණතාවය, right? Engineer, what you call, we'll take example, a computer engineer, a software engineer, he should have competence or expertise knowledge on that particular area. Yeah, everybody go and can't do the software engineering part. So that is the particular set of competence, the expertise area, proficiencies that we call skills. So there are two sets of skills. Hard skills. We have two sets of skills, hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are teachable and measurable abilities such as writing, reading, mathematics, statistics, ability to use computer, so on, right? That is Sinhala we call ප්‍රමාණාත්මක සාධක පිළිබඳ ප්‍රවීණතාවය, right? So soft skills means where your creativity, what we call problem solving, collaboration, communication, creativity. So those are the set of those kind of skills we refer as soft skills. So every person should have hard skills plus soft skills. Somebody can say, okay, I'm expert in the world for statistics or mathematics. Maybe that means he's perfect enough on his hard skills. But if he goes and try to apply these mathematical knowledge into a world of work without proper understanding about proper analysis about that particular person's soft skills, maybe he or she won't be a perfect person at that time. Because we have seen these classic examples, right? As a HR head, I used to, as I told you, per year, maybe I'm invited, interviewing about 1,000 odd graduates or 1,000 odd candidates, right? But we can see there are with first class degrees, second uppers and all best qualifications, but their communication ability at the interview, they can't expose, they can't explore, they can't elaborate their theoretical knowledge at a forum like interview, one-to-one discussion level. I'm really sad to see. I missed about 2 years back. I missed one of the best students because we were interviewing, trying to recruit a engineering assistant to our plantations, where I got very good CVs from Sri Lanka's reputed universities. One student, because he got an opportunity to join with even academy, but he want to come and he want to join with the private sector. But he lost that opportunity where he has all this qualification, but he couldn't explain what he knows. So you should have a good mix of hard skills and soft skills. Competencies, we call it nipunata. So ability to do something successfully or efficiently, right? You may have all these hard skills and soft skills, or your skills are perfect, but if you can't do that particular area of work successfully or efficiently, that means that you don't have that particular competencies. යමක් සාර්ථකව හා කාර්යක්ෂමව කිරීමට ඇති හැකියාව. Maybe you have all these qualifications, you have all soft skills, that means communication, creativity, whatever. But if somebody gives you a task to do, you can't, we have seen certain classic examples, they have failed to produce the results what the other end expected. So that is the nipunatave, competencies. There are two sets of competencies as well, technical competencies and behavioral competencies. Technical competencies are related to the hard skills. Behavioral competencies are related to soft skills. Technical competencies we call takshanika nipunatave. Behavioral competencies we call charyatmaka nipunatave. So technical competencies are developed from the hard skills and behavioral competencies are developed from the soft skills. Okay, with that basic introduction, knowledge, skills, and competencies are the mandatory 3 parameters where you have to cultivate within yourself as a human being to become a smart graduate. Universities or a nation or the global, what we expect from you all youngsters, the young generation, we expect you to get your creativity, innovations into development journey of the country or the nation, right? So what we end of the session, end of your journey of the university studies, we need kind of competent, skillful graduates. I got this quote from one of the world's best philosophers, John Head. He mentioned safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for. As he mentioned, yes, of course, ship is safe in harbor because harbor, if a ship is in harbor, it won't experience any challenges. So that is safe. So, but are you agree with that? Are we built up ships to just park it at the harbor? Or we build ships to get the experience in the sea? So the whole purpose of the build-up ship is not just to park at one point. Let it go, let it travel, let it sail, get the experience, face for thunderstorm, right? Various challenges, then only that is the purpose of build up the ships. So that is applicable for the graduates as well. You are really safe within the life of university. But one good day, if you are going to, in your lifetime, if you can be in the university, okay, you are safe. But that's what not universities are producing graduates. That's what not that's not the purpose of the nation to invest on the graduates in the universities. End of the process, we need you all to the national development. Maybe science graduates, maybe agriculture graduates, maybe graduates from medical faculty, engineering faculty, whatever, management faculty, whatever. end of the day, end of the session, end of the journey, we need you all to come to the national development journey in the country. So that is your real experience, real work-life experience. So our expectation, we need ships willing to travel out of comfort zones. That is really important, right? Even as I mentioned at the beginning, one good time about 25 years back, I was really happy in the university. At one time, I was dreaming, okay, how can I stay for my life in a university like Peradeniya, right? So it's a rare opportunity a graduate to come to a university like Peradeniya. So with that culture, with that nature, whatever, one of the best, I think, the only university in Sri Lanka became first 500 world university ranking. So one time I was thinking, as a immature undergraduate, I was thinking, okay, can't I stay every day in my life in university? But it's not the reality, right? So we have to come out from that comfort zones. So how to come out from comfort zones to be a smart graduate? Number one is you have to ready to experiencing new challenges. Your creativity, innovative approaches, practical experience, ability to speak through your actions, ability to be change agent, those all are matters for you to get the new experience and how to face the new challenges. This is critical and actual fact because as I mentioned at the very beginning, classic examples, best students from the universities, maybe first classes, second upper, second lowers, whatever. But how can they come out from the comfort zone and face for these challenges? So that is what your creativity. That I will address you after this session. Okay, I will link that with one of your question that how to now when we for you to get a employment, first thing that you have to apply for the job, right? That job vacancy, right? So you should have your creativity. You should know at the time that you are applying for that particular vacancy, you should keep in your mind, you are not only the person applying that, there can be about 1,000 odd CVs, right? So how to be maybe one vacancy, which competition, how to get the competitive advantage, that is your creativity. Make your CV a creative CV, right? Out of 1,000 of CVs, they normally in any company, the first filtering will be by the HR division. So that has to be really attractive. Right? The attractiveness can be captured through your creativity. Don't submit conventional CV. Don't go extreme and do a colorful CV and send it, because CV is not, I will address you that part separate, but CV is not a colorful or picture or whatever, but within the framework, it has to be a different one rather than others, and innovative approaches. The time of facing your interviews. So you have to use your own innovative approaches to get that particular. I'm taking one example. So practical experience, ability to speak through your actions, ability to be change agent. Once you come into, we'll say that a student coming for an internship. So that's a very good opportunity. Okay, that's a very good opening for him or the particular student to show that he or she is a change agent. Have to, and that is the best time that you can show the employees at the company that I'm the best person. I can take any challenges. So you have to show. So ready to experience in new challenges is number one, or one of the main criteria for you to come out from a comfort zone and to be a smart graduate. And ready to broaden existing horizons that I initially explained, your competencies and your behavior, right? So you can see this picture. Why I put this picture, just not to colorful the slide. See the attitude of this particular person who drew this line on the road, right? So just a stick of a branch of the tree fallen on the roadside. Somebody was drawing this white line, but didn't want to take this out. So that is something, your actions and attitudes. This really matter in the workplace. Right? Nowadays, the current trend is, irrespective of titles of the companies or the organizations, we used to observe their particular actions and attitudes. So, ready to broaden in existing horizons is another important criteria for you to be a smart graduate and to gain competitive advantage when the time you are searching employment. And ready to take in risks that help to grow. Every reward carries risk with it. Every reward will have a risk, right? You can't get rewards without risk. So you have to prepare to accept the risk. Seeing the risk is there, if you are trying to move away from the challenge, that means you are not suitable enough to get this journey. So you have to turn your mind. Mind is the most important thing in human being. First, change your mind. Right? Okay, I'm really fit enough to take this challenge. I have my degree with second upper class. I gained the other diplomas or whatever. So my hard skills are okay. My technical competencies are okay. Also, you have to do analysis on your soft skills and behavioral competencies. Then you have to have your own judgment. Okay, I'm ready to take this challenge. So, okay, I know that there's a risk. I have a plan to mitigate the risk as well. So that is what. So you have to always ignore the haters, because when we try to do, in specifically in Sri Lankan nature, when we try to do new things, there are so many, not everyone, but you will mostly get the negative approaches. Don't fail, you will be a failure. Right? So various comments are coming. But just hear it and analyze your potential. Most important thing in human being, to analyze your own human potential. If you don't have estimate on your own human potential, your teachers can't help, your degree can't help, your university can't help, nobody can't help. So you have to have ability to judge your own potential. So the other one is ability to transform failures into opportunities. This is the most important thing. Every failure is a challenge. Example of most of the industrialists in the world, the top class industrialists, they started with the failures. I will take some classic examples. They started with the failures. As I mentioned at the beginning also, that is a kind of, that's the way that you can get the knowledge. Let it fail, right? If one subject you will get about, we'll say you will get a C rank where you are expecting A. Okay, let that as a failure for you. Start from that. So likewise, we apply this fact into your life. I'm not encouraging for you to be failures, but if accidentally you experience a failure, take it as an opportunity. Right? Every failure is a challenge, and your ability to transform the challenge into an opportunity is the most important thing. So, in a Chinese term, in every crisis lies the seed of opportunity. They believe this, right? Danger and opportunity. They always, if you happen to visit China, you can see most of the places they used to display this symbol because they believe it, right? A country like Japan, they built up their nation up to this level, one of the world best developed country at the moment. But after Second World War, the entire nation, the Japanese nation, was not on the ground, right? So, but they started from that end and they came up to this level. Be a human with the innovator's DNA. That is the most important thing, right? To be a sustainable and ethical competitor, Thinking beyond the boundaries. That is the most important thing that I believe in my life, right? For you to be an ethical competitor, this term is really important, ethical, right? Competition can be happen in various ways. You have unethical competitions as well, but always keep that in mind. As a human being, you should cultivate ethical competition. Give talents, competencies, skills, knowledge, with that to compete with the competitors. That is ethical competition, right? And that is more sustainable. It's long term. It's not short term, right? Unethical competitions are not sustainable. They are maybe for short term focus, right? Thinking beyond the boundaries is the most important thing. Where the if you take any characteristics, the human characteristics, the classic models in the world, right? So they are with their own innovators thinking, right? Cultivate. Everybody has it. Not only Bill Gates or whatever, right? Not only Thomas Alva Edison, not only Albert Einstein. Everybody has their innovators DNA. Only thing that we have to activate within us. Start to think beyond the boundaries. Don't believe whatever you see on the outcore. Don't believe that. Right? Just think beyond that. Then you will see a lot of areas you can explore, lot vast area to develop. And simple knowledge into deep wisdom. Okay, everything start. You can't have brand new Toyota car at once, right? It develop. If you happen to visit one day because with connections with Justica and all, I used to frequently visit countries like Japan, where I had my opportunity to visit Toyota, Mazda, Nissan, Mitsubishi, and Panasonic, and various plants. So they started. We can see end of the day we can see the product, but it starts with the simple things, basic things, right? Simple knowledge into deep wisdom. You can't classically, you know that you can't be a professor at once, right? You have to be an undergraduate, you have to get your bachelor's degree, then you have to go for master's degree, then your PhD or whatever. There's a path, right? Everything starts from the simple, and dream or vision should have vision for the deeper ones. Never stop to good. Never stop at good. Even think beyond the great. Make sure excellent may be an enemy. So we are very comfortable enough to stop at excellent. That will kill your innovative ability. Right? Think beyond the excellent. If the change is needed, do not waste time by analyzing needs for change. Be a change agent. If you think now, once you recruited to a what you call the organization, always try to be, not from the very first day, you have to understand, you have to study the organizational culture, you have to organize the organizational behavior, human behavior, organizational behavior, whatever, and little by little try to be a change agent, not to depend everything what they have, right? Then only innovations will come out, right? For you to change, first thing is that you have to unfreeze yourself. That is most important thing. Otherwise, you can't change. You can talk change, but you can't walk with change. Most important thing is you have to unfreeze. Unfreeze means you have to dissolve whatever the level we are thinking at the moment. That is the need. And you have to move towards action, right? Then once you reach the action, then you have to refreeze. That is the results. So unfreeze, moving, refreezing is important for you to be a change agent and be successful at the outcome or the results. See this photograph, or you may be familiarized with this face. This is not a forum, even physical session when I used to conduct so many skill development programs for the universities. I used to display only the photograph just to see whether university the students are aware on this one of the best great characteristics in the world. Right? Of course, you can see from the face this gentleman is from Japan. He is Kazuo Inamori, co-founder of Kyocera Japan. Right? You may just Google and see Kyocera. That is the world best company who produce ceramic-based electronic equipments. He's the co-founder, and one of the main characteristics where I believe to you to teach how to take challenges. To take challenges, year or the age is irrespective, no matter, right? He became the CEO of. Now he retired from his main industry, that is the organization Kyocera, and at the age of 77, Japanese government invited him to take over the Japanese Airlines. One time before 2010, Japanese Airlines was one of the world's best airline, but for poor management, it has come down to the bottom level, no performance, poor performances. So Japanese government removed the existing management, and they were thinking how to recruit to take over this business. So they identified the most suitable person is Mr. Inamori. He invited. At that time he was 77, but he used his knowledge, experience. He think beyond the boundaries. He used his creative ability, innovative mindset, and when a company was in bankruptcy and led the air carrier through its restructuring, and company to be listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange in November 2012. Within 2 years' time, he was managed to take up JAL, Japanese Airlines, into the topmost position. This is a very classic example. You just go into Google and read the story, life story of Mr. Inamori. You can learn a lot of lessons for your life success. Okay, this gentleman also from Japan, one of the famous character, but him by a name called Panasonic. You may have heard about Panasonic. You may using the electronic items under brand name of Panasonic, but he's the founder, chairman of Panasonic Japan, Konosuke Matsushita, a person who was working in 1910 period. He was working as a supervisor in a bulb manufacturing company. One day, he built up a bulb, a different bulb going beyond the conventional manufacturing process at that time at that company. He built up an innovative bulb, electrical bulb, and he has gone and showed that product to his supervisor. And he told, "Sir, I did a change. These are the advantages. We can get very good market from this." But you will know that supervisor's answer, what he told: "Fly a kite. You better go and do whatever we want. We don't want your product." So he was really disappointed. And next day, he left from that particular company, discussed these matters with his wife. Mrs. Matsushita was Mr. Matsushita's success character behind his success story. They discussed, they built up a very small scale, they built up a company. At that time, they call it Matsushita Electrical Company. Later on, it became world famous Panasonic, right? So he always believed management is not a number game. He always speaks about human resource development, where his success story from 1916, at the time he started Matsushita Electrical Company, and to the topmost level of the Panasonic brand, he always believed use of human talent. More than technology, he believed use of human talent. So our expectation from, this is my company, but on entire industry, we need ships willing to travel out of comfort zones and willing to be change agents for innovations and creativity, willing to challenge for the failures and to convert them in these challenges into opportunities. Before I wind up this session on this presentation, let me come to your core objectives, core expectation, core needs from me. How to face interviews, right? So interviews are the time that you have to show your talents, you have to show your competencies to a board of interviewers. one-to-one chat, one-to-one discussion, right? Before that, when you see the vacancy, job vacancy, you have to do your, you have to produce your CV. As I earlier mentioned, it has to be a creative one, different one, right? For you to get the competitive advantage or the competition. And also, once they shortlisted, you will go for that particular organization to face the interview. Then at the time you entered the main gate of the organization, you have to be very careful. Before that, you have to do your homework before the interviews, right? Nowadays you have all these facilities of Android phones and various things. The technology is on your hand. Just Google and see what is this company, what are the board of whatever, who is the chairman, who is the managing director, who are the board of directors, who are the corporate management members, what is the nature of business, what is the vision of this company, what are the values, what are their core businesses, what are the diversification areas of the business, various things of search. You don't want to do a thesis on that, but just read and get key points, be ready on that, because that is a classic area. As HR head we are checking, right, whether you have searched before on the company before you come for the interview. That little bit homework, you have to go for the interview. You have to nicely dress, right? Whatever in position. If you are going for a management training position, of course, try to wear a blazer, right, with a tie and very decent, and don't be rushed. If just have a just see Google map and mapping and see how long it will go from your residence to or whatever you place you are here there to reach to that particular organization. And it says 1 hour, you try to start 2 hours early. So I see, because on my scale I used to reject those students who are coming from the latter part, because if you can't have punctuality, I think that is the most important thing for you to be a good candidate. So on my recruitment process, I always advise my HR team, those who are coming without valid reason, maybe there are valid reasons, right? Without valid reasons. So at the first filtering that we are rejecting from Hayleys and Hayleys plantation said. So be there well on time, don't be rush, right? If you want to go washroom, just ask from receptionist, can I use the washrooms or whatever. If you go, prepare it, be thoroughly ready well before the interview, right? And you have to don't take your CV file or the certificate file last moment. About 1 or 2 days back, just go through it. And if sometimes we see, because when I interviewed the first interviews, I used to tell my HR executives and managers to check the file. Sometimes the certificates, yeah, he or she has done a lot of courses, various qualifications, but here and there just file it, right? It has to be a sequence manner. We are checking on those things. Industries are checking on those things. So be alert on that, prepare on that, and your dress code matters a lot. So with all that, you have to go for interview well on time. Face for the interview, you have to show your uh, uh, you have to show your you have to show the interview panel that you are not disturbed, right? You have to show your comfortability, comfortability and confidence to the interview board. Sometimes even these are some secrets, but I will share with you all. Some of the companies now we are checking your behavior from the main gate onward, right? You should tell the main gate security guards, okay, these people are coming for the interview. Do these things. Sometimes they used to greet you, right? Good morning, sir. Good morning, madam. Right? So Udayasanak, Mahatmya. Then we observe from the CCTV cameras the way you reply that, the way you communicate with those people. When you mention security guards, always you may, okay, we have an impression that, okay, we should neglect them. Security guards ne good morning can no, but we observe those things. Be careful on those things as well. Whoever who meet, smile, greet them very well. And go inside and meet receptionist. You tell that you're so and so, and wish that particular receptionist as well. And also, we sometimes in our company we used to keep you in a isolated lobby, right? And there also we are observing how your behavior, whether you disturb. Sometimes we see people now purposely in my sector, we used to delay your interview purposely. Sometimes we have invited by 10 o'clock. I used to tell my people to call them by 10:15, about 10-15 minutes delay, and we are observing whether you are disturbed, or sometimes we can see people looking and watch, and they are for themselves they are talking, right. So that is your level of tolerance, because if with that uncomfortable manner if you are coming to a organization, that means we know that you are not a suitable person to match it. So careful on those things. Once you face for the interview, when you are entering to the boardroom or whatever, first go to the door. When you open the door, don't enter. So good morning or good afternoon or whatever appropriate greeting, and just ask, may I come in? Yeah. Then they will tell, okay, please come and take a seat. Then you thank them. Try to be very smart, be comfortable. Your eye contacts at the interview, those are really matters, right? Be always comfortable enough what you have. Whether you have very little qualifications, be comfortable with that. And if they ask, you with the direct eye contact, you answer. Don't be guilty on that, those areas, right? And also, if you doesn't have anything, don't tell. Uh, 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 Always try to explain that whatever you have, right? A very classic example I will show you, because every year we are a plantation company. We have a separate program, plantation management training program. That is, we are developing plantation managers from that program. So we have different set of criteria to select on that. But um, we are always checking the extracurricular activities as well, right? Because it's outdoor job. And one day, one student from one of the reputed school, he mentioned that he was playing rugger for the school, college. So he got through the first interview, second interview, aptitude test. Finally, he came to see he got selected, and he came to see our managing director, where he was one of the giant at the moment in the national level. And he, at the school time, he was playing rugger, and he was school, he on his school colors as well. And he asked questions on his famous term. But this particular student couldn't answer any of those questions, right? So don't try to talk whatever you doesn't have. And also, there's another need. What are the basic qualifications, objective that you'll have? It should applicable, it should match with the job criteria, whatever the job vacancies, right? The qualifications on engineering post may differ qualification from the R&D position, or maybe for management training position. So that differ. And also internship. And because internship always, you are thinking about internship, you're not coming to latter part of your university life. So you always have to see that, okay, what kind of organization you have to select for internship, where that should match with your future career life. Don't try to do internship and go out from there and do a separate job in your future days, right? I see most of the students, they just to cover the internship program, they used to come and do. That is a killing opportunity for another potential student. So most important thing is you have to match with your vision, your dream. Okay, this has to be my vision. This has to be my dream area in one of the good day in my future life. Okay, I want to be this. I want to be director of this, director of human resources. Then you'll have to select a company where you can try to get the internship related to HR. Then you start at the very beginning itself. You start from that 10. Then you have a very clear path to go in. So selection of internship, the organization is really matters. You just check, okay, these are the industries I like. Okay, then you have to select the organization based on that industries. So think on those areas. Just merely to do the internship, don't select the organization or the positions or the departments. It should match with your future focus. And internship internship period is your great opportunity, as I mentioned earlier. Don't miss that opportunity. Right? Where I have seen students, they just come and just pass that 3 or 4 months or 6 months or whatever, they leave. But there are some smart students, they maximize that period, they show their talents, even not the recommendation from HR, even managing director will identify, okay, this particular young person is one of the talents. So even if there are no vacancies, sometimes companies are creating vacancies and absorbing those students. So internship programs, industrial training programs, try to maximize, give your best shot. Because in our company, we always treat interns also as one of our part of our family members, right? So you have to during internship period, you have to learn different organizational cultures, different human behaviors. You can see different human behavior, human beings you can meet. So you have to learn those things, and you have to balance and see how to balance your theoretical and practical applications in this. And so that is the most important time that you can maximize. So I think my time is out. I have about another 10 minutes time, where I think I can answer whatever the questions you have from this moment onwards. Thank you very much once again for giving this opportunity. And I think within this very short period, I have addressed your needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Anuruddha. That was indeed an informative presentation. Now we will go ahead and take some time for the questions. Now the audience can unmute and direct their doubts directly to Mr. Anuruddha, or else you can type it in the chat box, or even you can send your question to me and I will forward it to Mr. Anuruddha. So you have like 5 minutes, I guess. Is it right, sir? How much time do you have, sir?
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes. No problem, Pochita, because I have to join with another Japanese webinar, another 10-15 minutes time. So till that I can join with you all, no problem.
Okay, so there's 5 minutes to direct questions. Better hurry up now. Thank you.
I think there's a question from, what does the corporate sector specially expect from the fresh graduates? Actually, now for you to find out, once you passed out, there are few areas that you have to search. Now, one is the private sector, the other one is the state sector, the government, and the NGO. Those are the three key sectors. Within that, you can even go for now some of the students, they are searching the academics opportunities and all. If not, if you are trying to come into the corporate sector, specifically nowadays the corporates are searching the young graduates who can think beyond the boundaries. The as I mentioned, with the young graduates with innovators DNA, right? New thinking. Because specifically nowadays, because of this COVID-19 pandemic, now the corporates are thinking how to diversify it, how to transform our businesses from the conventional nature into the different different scenarios, because we have to face for global challenges. So we need the young graduates who can apply those young knowledge, the new knowledge where you have captured from the university, and how you all can convert this theoretical knowledge into the practice. That is most important thing, where you have to show. That's why I told you all, if you get an opportunity to join with the company with the internship, that is the best period for you to perform. That is the best period. You sacrifice whatever you have, right? Whatever your other work you sacrifice, give your best shot to that period. Then they will identify that you are the best person to recruit. So we are actually expecting the innovative abilities, creativity, and also thinking beyond the boundary. The new the people who can think new on various aspects, and also more specifically the ethics. Ethics are the most important thing, right? So as I told early, the competitions can be unethical or ethical, right? You have to be always cultivate the ethical competitions. So we need the people with ethics, because people can produce numbers, whatever company requested, but end of the day, you produce numbers with unethical ways. That is not the companies, most of the corporates are expecting. So those are the few characteristics I can mention that a fresh graduate can the corporate sector expecting from fresh graduates.
Any other questions? You can use the chat box. So we have a question.
Yeah. It's a good question. When it comes to the industry, does our first degree sufficient to work in the field, or do we need an extra qualification on management side? Of course, I had in the morning I had a chat with Dr. Udayana Rantung also. Where at the moment most of the universities, I can't mention the names, but one of the leading private university as well. At the moment, they are absorbing some of the management subjects as optional subjects from the first year onwards. That is mainly because of there's a need from the corporate sector, the industries, right? Because now, for an example, now we'll see a doctor. Now you are consulting the world best doctor. We'll assume that you are going to consult the world best doctor, but that doctor doesn't know how to speak to patient and understand the patient's background and various things and give the best medicines to that patient. So that doctor can be the world best doctor, but he's a failure on my definition. So each and my vision is that okay, any stream of studies, maybe engineering, maybe science, maybe medicine, maybe agriculture, or arts, or management, or whatever. I believe that management, specifically human resource management, is more important in present world of work, right? Because in any profession, you should know at least basic ABC on human resource management. Otherwise, one day if you become a manager, senior manager, a director, or whatever, the head position, you should know how to handle and get the best out of that human being into the company or the organization. Otherwise, your qualifications, your number of years experience, no value. So, as a profession, do you believe in paper qualification? Do we need extra qualifications? Yes, of course. If you have time, try to do some management courses, some certificate, or give my advice is give priority to your basic degree that you have to complete with whatever the best level that you can, right? Give the priority, but in your free time, just try to do some management courses. Like I can mention the names because it's not the time that to brand various things, but there are places where you can get professional qualifications, and there are people who get, and that will be an added qualification for you at the interview. And there's another question: how a person can prove he has learned something. As a professional, do you believe in paper qualifications or the skills? Yeah, of course, I believe both. You need the hard skills as the soft skills as well, right? Because you can't just merely mention skills that include hard skills and the soft skills. Hard skills you gain from the practical paper qualifications, right? At the moment your university are getting that, right? Meantime, you try to develop your soft skills as well. You need a good blend of that. Otherwise, you are not a competent candidate. You can't be a smart graduate. And there's another question: how can we ensure that a particular organization is adapting good career ladder before we enter into it? Because after some years, everyone wants to expect promotions and everything after we recruited. No, there are good companies, the most ethical companies, they are giving you freedom. Now at the interview, they are asking, okay, do you have anything to ask from us? That is the most common question I'm asking, right? So at that time, 95% students on the undergrads level, they are facing for the interviews. They told, no, sir, we don't have anything else. So that is a good opportunity for you to ask those questions. Just ask, sir, I have a question. Madam, I have a question. Do you have a proper defined career succession plan, career ladder in this company? Okay, if I start as a management trainee, what will be the end destination of that journey? So we wish to explain, right? In our case, in Hayleys plantations, a management trainee can even walk up to the level of managing director. We have clearly defined paths. So we used to explain those things at the interview. So it's your freedom, it's your time that you have to raise those questions at that time. You can clarify all those things. After come up with a chemistry degree, is there a way to enter the management profession? What are the additional qualifications that we should gain in order to get the management positions? Okay, a chemistry degree or the botany or whatever. Now, I will get my example. I'm an agriculture graduate, and I got a second upper class from Peradeniya University, and I was the one of the few. I think I was within the first 10, and I became the first in the students who specialize in plantation agriculture. And I got an opportunity to join with the academics as well. But my vision, my dream was to be a plantation management position. So I worked for that, and you have to have a plan on that. So one good time after I recruited as a plantation management training, I started as assistant manager, then the senior assistant manager, then the manager, senior manager. And at that time I realized, okay, I need to learn. I have seen in my workplaces, because I have been working as a state assistant manager to a state senior manager, I have been meeting thousands of people every day. So I thought, okay, this is practical human resource management. I need to get professional qualifications on human resource management. Then I started my MBA from University of Sri Jawatanpura, one of the reputed university for management studies. So I did it. That time there were no management faculty in Peradeniya. So I got my qualifications for management position. I did specialize in human resource management. So after that, being agriculture, started my career life as an agriculture graduate. Later on, I became the HR head. Right. So it is your path. You have to define your path. You have to clear on your path. And for you to achieve, dreams won't come right simply. You have to work for that. You have to capture the qualifications, necessary skills and competencies where you have to gain. And there are so many things that even a chemistry graduate can easily do management studies from the management faculty of Peradeniya or whatever other universities. Do your masters on management. Then you can gain those qualifications. That's another question I need to know as graduate student. Is it needs a good class of degree to get a professional career? Not at all. As I told you during my presentation, a first class degree holder, he lost his opportunity, and that has gone to a second lower class, because whether it's first class or second upper, lower, general degree, doesn't matter. We know that with that degree, you all have gained the technical competencies. The hard part of the that area, we can guess, we can understand that you will gain. But only thing that if you are lacking your communication, how you can't explain whatever you learn from the university into practical life. So as industries, that is not what we need. So we need people who can transform those theoretical knowledge into practical scenarios. So that's how the industries are producing outputs now. So for the academics, maybe different scenarios, because maybe academics, they are searching about first class or second up or whatever. But the corporate world, we are always searching the blend. Class, if you can get a class, is additional qualifications, but not a mandatory one. If it is mandatory, they will mention in the job vacancy post, right? They will mention that we need a second upper class above degrees or whatever. So that depend on the organizations. Most of the organizations, they are not mentioning that, but some of the organizations I have seen, when they are posting the job vacancies at Top Jobs or LinkedIn or whatever, they used to mention that they prefer to have the degree first class and above, or second low and above, whatever. So you have to adhere those this thing based on the requirement of this organization. And all the questions are coming on the jobs and the vacancies for other organizations, but why can't you think about entrepreneurship, develop yourself as own why can't you develop your own business? There are a lot of opportunities. Now the country where I'm in the National Committee of Tea Strategic Planning Committee, so there you have a lot of experience, a lot of need coming from the even from the present the government policy, the entrepreneurship development. So that is what we need in the country at the moment, right? From the dependent economy, for the independent economy, entrepreneurship is the skeleton, the backbone. So as I mentioned, the society also, where even the organization I am voluntarily involved in, that is Justica, we always promote entrepreneurship. We have links with Japan and the German and the other European countries as well. So we try to now next month we are going to have a few programs, and also the product development exhibition also in Colombo. So I will keep you all posted through your organization. Whoever who interested on the entrepreneurship development, they can join with those things as well. So that is another key area where you all can think as fresh graduates.
So do you have question for, do you have time for one more question?
Yes, yes, okay.
Sir, this is a personal question I have.
Yeah.
So is it compulsory to like have an MBA or a PhD when going for top positions like director board or like being the director of a particular section?
No, Poshit, actually, it's not a mandatory item, but it's additional one. It's like this. I will address you in this way. You are wearing I'm asking you to wear a shirt and trouser, right? So 1,000 odd people will wear shirt and trousers. Okay, where should you capture your attractiveness? Your shirt has to be multicolored or a different color than others, no? So everybody who are working in the organization may have common qualifications. You have to have your intelligence to analyze and see what are the qualifications I gain to attract my senior people. So one of the area is, okay, you can gain MBA, that is additional knowledge, very good knowledge. So if you complete MBA means you have vast knowledge of management, right? So then the other thing is MBA is really important for if you are working for general management, if you are working for a position like general manager or the director or the managing director, that positions you need master's degree on the management, because that you cover accounts, finance management, marketing management, human resource management, strategic management, a lot of areas. Those are need for the top positions.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions? I guess it's the end. Yeah, so I would like to thank Mr. Anuruddha. That was indeed an enlightening presentation. So I would like to make this an opportunity to thank Mr. Anuruddha Gamage Head, General Manager in HR and Corporate Sustainability Division of Kelani Valley Plantations, for being here and enlightening us with all this information. I'm sure the audience learned a lot today. Thank you, sir, for being here again.
Thank you.
And also, we can't forget our Senior Treasurer and Director of Science Industry Interaction Cell for his efforts in making this event a success, Mr. Dr. Udayan Ranatunga. Thank you, sir. And I guess it's time to wind up this session. And we appreciate you all, the audience, for being here. And thanks again for joining us today. And we will see you next time with another interactive session like this. Have a nice day.